Hello, Bible readers. It is Friday, June 25th. We're reading from Malachi 1 to 4, and then we're finishing up 2 Peter. Good work. You have made it. We have made it together. And as I go through these last couple books, I then have some questions for you at the end that I'd really appreciate your response to. So first, 2 Peter. The writer believes he's near death, and these may be his final words. This gives the letter a greater sense of urgency and importance. His point is, you can almost imagine some old wise elder saying, the faithful will face challenges. There is corruption in the world. People will impose their own interpretation on Scripture. False prophets will pull people in, but their words are lies. Many people do not believe that the Lord will come again, and in spite of all this, hold on to God's precious promises. Grow in your faith. It is possible. Wait with faith. Wait with hope. Christ will come again. It's another church pep talk, really. It's a pastoral letter, so why wouldn't it be? It's what pastors do, pep talk, like a weekly or sometimes daily pep talk to keep at it, even through a pandemic. Okay, I'm resonating with 2 Peter a bit. Anyway, Malachi. In Hebrew, Malachi means my messenger. We have no biographical details about this final minor prophet. Nehemiah would have appreciated Malachi's message because Malachi's message calls for a reform of the priesthood and a renewed devotion to God. A revival, you could say. The people's commitment to worship and their commitment to serving God are at a low point, apparently. Malachi is written in the form of a courtroom drama where Malachi lays out God's case to both the priests and against the people. Haggai and Zechariah, if you remember, they were concerned with the reconstruction of the temple. Malachi's concerns come after that chapter in Israel's history. Malachi cares about the quality of ritual practices that are happening in the rebuilt temple. In case anybody thought once we rebuild everything will be just fine. That's not the case. And Malachi is making it clear you can't just build it and think, okay, everything's good, as though it's a transaction, as though it's a box to check off. That is worship and ritual. Instead, worship and ritual, and it really does lead toward the way Jesus will talk about the temple when he goes in to clean out the temple. This is not about transaction. This is about transformation. The temple exists not to just simply do rituals, but that we would be brought closer to God through rituals. And so Malachi believes that when sacrifices are made correctly, it can be transformational. At the heart of the text is the coming messenger of God idea, and that messenger of God would come ahead of the day of the Lord, a day of judgment. And that's why many Christians would look, or like the Gospel of Matthew, would look for words to come from John the Baptist to connect to these final words of the Hebrew Bible. I was going to read just a little section of the Lutheran Study Bible's description of Malachi. The people wonder at this point why their difficult life has not really changed. After the temple was built, they expected that the promises and visions of prophets like Zechariah, Isaiah, and Ezekiel would be fulfilled. But visions of a bright future appear dim. And so that's really what's going on at this point. The temple's been rebuilt. A lot of people thought that once that would happen, magically everything would just get better, and it hasn't. And so Malachi is saying we need to double down on our faithfulness to God and our devotion to God through ritual. It's not a time to back further away. Okay, so that's it. That's how the Old Testament ends. We've read through the Bible. Bible readers, good work. I would love for you to do a couple things for me. Would you please email me, jason@firstlu.org, firstlu.org. I would love to know who it was that participated in this endeavor. And then would you also not just email me, a blank email with no with no title or anything, but share with me one way you grew over the course of this past year. Maybe it was a lesson you learned. Maybe it was something about daily Bible reading or 5 out of 7 daily Bible reading, or maybe share with me a question you have, an epiphany you had. I don't care. I'd like to know who you are, who participated, and how you've been changed through a year of reading the Bible. In addition to that kind of information, I'd love to hear, what are you interested in doing next? I'm going to keep doing some kind of a Bible study, maybe not 5 days a week. In fact, for sure, not 5 days a week. But I'm going to do something a couple days a week at least. Maybe it's reading a book. I mentioned this book about Revelation weeks ago. Maybe we just jump into a book of the Bible more deeply. I'm interested in knowing what, as you made questions and notes throughout your year of reading the Bible, how can I continue to walk with you as your pastor? That's what I'm interested in knowing. So email me so that I know who you are, what you've learned, maybe some questions you have, and then a recommendation that you have for our future. And I'm going to start something back up in September. Between now and then, enjoy a little break. You can do some beach reading, or we could start a beach readers group. We're not going to do that though. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.